In this video, we will be talking about the Art Basel Annual Art Market Report of 2021. Now, I have to be honest, I don't check these reports every single year. I've checked them a couple of times, but this year it is massive. And today I definitely want to feature it, want to cover it on the YouTube channel, because this is a historical moment. I mean, this year was so strange in so many years. And this might be the most interesting report that Art Basel will ever make. Because what we've seen in the last year, 2020, is a shift from offline all the way to online. And on top of that, we saw the NFT crypto art marketplace suddenly selling tens of millions of dollars of NFT artworks, which is what the hell was that all about? I mean, this is a huge year. We will likely not see something like this in the next couple of decades, perhaps even century. And so, as said, this might be a historical moment in the art market, and so we have to check this report out. We have to cover it on the YouTube channel. Let's start. First, what we want to do is we want to, of course, type in Google Art Basel art market report 20. Now let's change it to 2021. Boom, click enter. Let's go to the first one, and so we can straight up download this as you can see here on the left, but we are going to go to the key findings first. Let's accept everything. They can have my cookies and show some ads. I don't really mind. And so here we have global art market. We have dealers, chisels, art fairs, auction sales. Let's just start off with the dealer section because I feel like that for some reason at this moment. So, as we can see, we already have some COVID-19 warning signs and stuff like that. Focus on dealers, galleries, analyzing sales and other key indicators, assessing how the COVID-19 pandemic has impacted on different value segments, blah, 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 blah. Okay, let's go. So first what we see here is a decline in sales for dealers, for art galleries, things like that, as expected. I mean, the whole COVID thing hits and everything goes down. Unless you had an online presence already that was strong, in that case it probably increased. And so that's nothing new, completely expected. Here we have, and so an interesting thing here, according to the survey of Art Basel, some dealers were able to maintain their profitability and or increased their growth and had an even more profitable year in 2020, and that was predominantly due to reducing operating costs. Now, if you look at those operating costs, this is very interesting. The main cost here is, of course, art fairs. Art fairs costs insane amount of money for galleries to participate and dealers to participate, and so those costs went dramatically down because those art fairs simply didn't happen in 2020. This is very obvious. So here on the next graph, we see probably the most interesting part of this part of the report, and that is what the top priorities of these galleries are. Now, in 2019, the top priority, 69%, went to art fairs. Now, this is very normal because art fairs are a major driver for everything when it comes to galleries. Art fairs is basically where a lot of galleries get majority of their marketing from, the majority of their collectors from, the majority of their sales from, the majority of their everything from. And so what happens is that during Art Basel, for example, a major fair like that, some galleries get 80% or more of their total annual revenue in that art fair itself. And so some galleries barely find collectors throughout the whole year. They go to Art Basel, and then there they basically survive. Going to Art Basel or not going to Art Basel, for them is life or death. And so art fairs are one of the most important, if not the most important, parts of this whole global art market for within the gallery section, of course. And so if we look at 2019, 69%, this is very normal. Of course, their priority is aimed at art fairs. 2020, this is what happens. 24%. It went from their top priority all the way down to, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Their 6th most important priority. And so this is the shift that I'm talking about. This is insane. This is massive. And so what replaced art fairs? Here we see it. Online sales and exhibitions. Online sales and exhibitions. This line here, I don't know how to turn this into blue or something. Online exhibition, 54%. I mean, That's just massive. Relationships with existing collectors, 70%. And so that is what galleries started to focus on. They started to focus on the existing relationships and see what is possible there. And then they moved towards online exhibitions and online sales. Wow. Just mind-blowing. And so what is the projection for the next 1 to 2 years? Art fairs will not come back completely, and online exhibitions will remain the second most important priority for dealers. I mean, this is huge. And so what can we learn from this as artists, as collectors, as art enthusiasts? What we can learn from this is that galleries will need to be able to drive traffic towards their online exhibitions and their online sales mechanisms. And so how are they going to do that? They can do that through advertisement, sure, but they can do that through social media. And that's about the two options that you have, advertisement and social media. And so what is going to become extremely important? Artists who have a social media presence. Artists who have a relationship with their audience. Artists that can actually drive traffic towards those online places. So this is going to become massive. What we saw 2 years ago, where artists that have, let's say, 500 Instagram followers or something, or 1,000 Instagram followers who are selling for 10k price points. And at the same time, we saw artists who had 2 million Instagram followers that were selling for $1,000 or $500. And so that is going to shift. That is going to shift. Having social media followers, whether it's Instagram or YouTube or whatever, is going to be way more important. And so if you're a collector and you look at, for example, Kirsty Patridge art, and she doesn't really make artsy art. She doesn't really make art that belongs in perhaps galleries, and it's not die-hard contemporary art. And so because of that, those collectors are probably not really interested in her. These traditional art, contemporary art collectors are not interested in somebody like that. But if you see that she has 1 million YouTube subscribers, soon to be 2 million or 3 million or 4 million or 5 million, then you cannot neglect it anymore. You cannot neglect it anymore. Those people are going to become extremely valuable in the near future. There's no other way. There's no other way. How long can you neglect the power that these people have? How long can you neglect that as a traditional art market? I don't know, not that long. In my humble opinion, I don't think that's going to last for a very long time. And so if you're a collector and you see those artists selling for $1,000, $500, and another artist who doesn't have a real audience selling for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50k, I mean, one of them is going to go down and another one is going to go up, and so it's your choice basically. And so this is very interesting. This is very interesting. Online exhibitions, online sales, massive. Let's go to the next section. So we had dealer section here. Auction, art fairs. Let's click art fairs and exhibitions first. And so the first thing that we see here is obviously cancelled events. So 365 global art fairs planned for 2020, 61% were cancelled. So that's huge. 37% held live events, and another 2 remaining percent alternative events and hybrid events, whatever that means. I have no clue. Anyway. And so the next chart basically shows us where dealers made their money. 2019 on the left, 2020 on the right. And so this is also massive as expected. So normally overseas fairs account for 27%. That went all the way down to 7%. Here, local fairs normally 15% went down to all the way 6%. And so this is massive. OVRs, art fair OVRs, I don't know what that means. Let's quickly art fair. OVRs. I think that's online viewing rooms, something like that. Probably online viewing rooms. So online viewing rooms, 1%. So that's nothing. But apparently they already had those viewing rooms. That went to 9%. So this is not compensating for anything. A little bit, but not really. 8% of the sales from galleries went through their internal online presence, their website, things like that. That went up to 25%. And so these galleries are now valuing their online presence way more in 1 year time, way more than they did in 2019. So this is again massive. If you're a collector, you should be looking at artists who have some online presence, some social media presence, because galleries will do so as well. For many reasons. These artists who have 1 million subscribers or have 100,000 subscribers or even 10,000 subscribers. Many of these artists can help art galleries improving their social presence, improving their websites, improving all of those things. And so we will see a merging of the online space and the traditional art market, of course. By the way, I'm drinking Moroccan mint, the classic Moroccan mint. Yeah, what else? And so let's quickly go here. This is also kind of interesting. I mean, 41% of high net worth collectors surveyed reported that they made a purchase at an art fair in 2020. 45% reported making an art fair purchase online through online viewing rooms. And so this is pretty interesting. These people don't know how to buy art online. The only thing that they're familiar with is, of course, art fairs. And so what are they going to do? Yeah, they're going to stay with art fairs, and these art fairs need to find some way to go about it online. Which, I mean, if you've seen these online viewing rooms, it's kind of it's a very unpleasant experience. They have not figured it out. These online viewing rooms, nobody watches it, nobody goes there, because it's just not, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. But apparently it does to some extent. Probably not because it works. Probably because these art collectors just don't have another way. They just don't know what else to do. By the way, so there are a lot of sections here. We have auction sales, online sales, global wealth, and art buyers, economic impact and conclusions. I don't see anything NFT. I don't see anything crypto art, even though 2020 was an insane year for crypto art and might be the moment in time where the shift happens. And so it's very strange that so far we didn't see anything about crypto art, anything about NFTs, when in reality these crypto art marketplaces are selling for tens of millions of dollars. And so these are massive marketplaces that are so far not covered. We'll see if this changes throughout the report. It should, but you never know. Let's click on whatever I found most interesting now. Economic impact and conclusions. No, not conclusions. We're not going to go to conclusions. We're going to go to global wealth and the art buyers first. So yeah, I'm not going through this chronologically. I'm just following whatever my feeling tells me. And so this is also interesting. What we're seeing here is high net worth collectors that are being surveyed, and 66% of them report that the pandemic had increased their interest in collecting, including 32% who reported significantly done so. And so this is, I told this in a video, I think 6 months or something ago, that 2020 would be a massive year for artists, that there was, if you played it correctly, if you went online and were able to grab a portion of that, there was such an increased interest in everything. People suddenly were thinking about decorating their homes because they were forced to live in their homes for a change instead of going to their job every single day. And so the need for decorating your home was suddenly there, and art collectors obviously also felt that everybody needed to do something. These high net worth collectors, they probably needed to have some kind of compensation, some kind of outlet, some kind of entertainment, whatever it is they're searching for in a pandemic, in the solitude of quarantine. And art was, for many of them, apparently, according to these reports as well, an outlet. And so I've said this in videos before, this shouldn't be anything new for my followers. Here we see millennial high net worth collectors, where apparently the highest spenders in 2020 with 30% spending over 1 million. Okay, this is nice, but here's the thing. These reports are not really accurate. If you would actually look at how many millennial high net worth individuals came to existence in the last couple of years, and then you would compare that to how many of them start to buy art, you would actually see a decline. The art market has not done a good job of grabbing a portion of that market. Of course, this report doesn't show that, and it shows an increase in art sales and all of that stuff, and high millennial net worth collectors. Let me put it a little bit different. There was more growth in high net worth millennials than there was growth in the amount of high net worth millennials that started buying art. And so, yes, we see an increase, but in reality, it's more like a decrease. And we see that millennials are not really interested in buying contemporary art or antiques, and the art world should definitely do something about it. Perhaps the NFT market, crypto art, is a solution for this. We don't know, but there's a possibility, and we still don't see anything NFT crypto art related in these reports. So that's pretty strange if you ask me. Let's go to a different section. So online sales, let's click on online sales. So this is already showing that the online viewing rooms here became a major thing. But online viewing rooms, with all due respect to anybody who's listening, online viewing rooms don't really work. And especially if you compare it to some of the developments in, for example, the whole blockchain crypto art space, where you have things like Decentraland and virtual lands where people can buy stuff, property, people can hang stuff, art, and showcase things. These things in that virtual reality space have a lot of potential, and online viewing rooms are just a lesser version of that. It's just so what's gonna happen there? We don't really know, but I personally don't really believe in the online viewing rooms as a replacement for anything. And yeah, let's see what they have to say. So online sales reaching a record high, 12.4 billion. Obviously, I mean, what else could you do? You could only move online. This is all very good news for artists. I mean, you can definitely grab a portion of all of this online movement. And in the online space, everything is equal again. Everything is equal. There's no gatekeeper that is deciding who is going to enter the gallery space and who is not going to enter the gallery space, because guess what? What do you have? You have advertisements, Google advertisements, Facebook advertisements, all of those things, and you have social media. And these algorithms, they don't care. These algorithms don't care about the fact that Gagosian Gallery is the big shot that already exists for a couple of decades and everybody loves them. Nobody cares about that. Online, the algorithms don't care about those things. And so this is huge news for anybody who is starting. Beginning collectors, beginning artists, there's huge potential going on. So here we see e-commerce exceeds the total sales by value of general retail. Yeah, it's not really that interesting. Kind of saying the same thing, it's kind of saying the same thing. So this is kind of interesting. The shift from regular to online was massive, but where do we see the biggest shift? We see the biggest shift with the galleries that are selling most, the galleries that have the biggest turnovers. They actually saw the biggest increase in online sales. And so online sales, this proves how comfortable people actually already are in paying top dollars online. And we saw this also with the whole NFT Beeble thing, $69 million through blockchain sales. I mean, that is massive. That was literally impossible just a couple of years ago, because collectors wouldn't feel comfortable doing that. It was not a rational thing, it was just an emotional thing. Nobody was able to put that amount of money in something online. Wow, look at this. High net worth collectors visit an art fair or gallery, OVR, and what was that, online viewing room? Yeah, I almost forgot it. In 2020, and 72% felt it was important or essential to have a price posted when they were browsing works of art for sale online. And so this is a huge thing. I get a lot of questions from artists. Should I put a price tag on my art? Should I not put a price tag on my art when I'm sharing stuff on social media or my website or things like that? Here we see it. Transparency is becoming king. High net worth collectors want to have more transparency. This is a clear trend that we now also see translated in numbers. I mean, 90%, 72%. This is very obvious. I mean, these are key takeaways, you know. Let's click on next. Auction sales. I mean, did I already click on this? No, I don't think so. Less interesting. This is for, rich people. I'm not one of them. So, we're gonna go quickly through this one. 20.8. So wow. This is a huge decline. Look at this. 17 billion. 2020. That's pretty massive, yeah. And we have the whole NFT crypto art marketplaces that are coming in. What is happening there? Yeah, very interesting times. Decline 30% on 2019. 3 largest auction market hubs, China. Yeah, China, US, UK maintaining their dominance. Nothing new here. What do we expect? So yeah, this is not too major, too interesting. Sales of over $1 million made up the majority of total value in the offline world. In the online world, that is not the case anymore. That dropped down. The majority comes from works that are valued at $5,000 to $250,000. And so, yeah, what would you expect? It takes a couple of years probably before people become fully comfortable spending insane amounts of money online. That's just a natural psychological thing, I suppose. I might be wrong. I'm just explaining things in my own head out loud, of course. And so that's that. Yeah, I think we have covered almost everything. Let's look at the global art markets. So sales went down a little bit, I guess here. Yeah, it's not anything major. So yeah, UK, China, US, they remain the big shots. Obviously, that's about it. This section is not that interesting. Economic impact. Let's quickly check that one. Business, employment in the global art markets. So employment stuff, not interesting. Yeah, more employment stuff, still not interesting. Let's go to the third one. Estimated 14,250 businesses operating. Yeah, this is definitely not interesting. And number 4, yeah, and number 4.4 is also not interesting. 0.5. As they continue, digital transformations, deals, and auction houses averted more research. Yeah, I mean, this is not interesting. The whole conclusion thing, it's not really. Come on, look at this. We went through all of it, through everything. There's not even a single mention of crypto art, NFT marketplaces, nothing. And so, by the way, let's check the full report out and see if they mention NFT, if they mention crypto art, if they say anything about it, because we're just looking at the key takeaways. But what about their full report? 181 pages of text, of real diehard analytics. Let's do a Control F, crypto art, boom, enter, nothing. That's nothing. Okay, NFT, let's do NFT. Nothing again. Wow. 181 pages, and not even mentioning crypto art, not even mentioning NFT art marketplaces, when in reality this business, this whole Art Basel thing, the online and offline art world might be replaced in a matter of years by the crypto art space, and so they don't even mention it. This is huge. Let's think about this. They don't even mention it. They don't even mention it, when in reality, Christie's is already moving, doing NFT sales, massive NFT sales, clearly showing that there's a lot of potential there in that marketplace. And the Art Basel report doesn't even mention crypto art. This is massive. I don't understand it. I don't understand why they cannot mention this. I mean, what's going on? Did they not investigate the crypto art scene? Did they thought it was not worthy for their annual report? Did they? I don't understand why such a thing would happen. Anyway, this is it. This is the annual report. These are the key takeaways. And for the rest, I hope you have a great day. You can always check out my other videos. That's it. Ciao, ciao.